Hello. I thought it'd be a good idea to showcase the evolution of my business or stroke contact card that I used to hand out at the various events that I attended with the things that I made. More of this rocket later on. My first one was printed in haste because I needed something for my very first event, probably about 5 years ago, where I was showcasing one of my apps, a chatbot that I developed for Android, and realized I didn't have any contact details or cards, so I hastily printed one off, and I've deliberately kept a few of them because it sort of grounds me. It makes me realize that nothing has to be really polished. There's no need to worry about getting things perfect. As long as it gets the message across and you have the right idea and enthusiastic, people don't really mind that something's a bit dog-eared or a bit tatty. And I handed a lot of these out, and as you can see, it just does exactly what it says on the tin, just gives them my contact details. But afterwards, I did realize that there is a need to have a better contact card. I printed one of these off. Okay, so my website and my branding is all rocket based, if you haven't already gathered, and it has been for absolutely years. I've used the username Rusty Rocket for donkey's years, even right back for when I was like registering my first Hotmail email address at university in the 90s, that sort of thing. But yeah, so it's all rocket based, and so I got a little rocket logo and started pasting it on like this, a very simple design. And on the back here, I just put a few stamps so it looks like it's a rocket postcard. And the idea was, instead of handing them out and with just my details on, I would actually write on and probably write a bit about who I was and how we met. And I used to write, a brief conversation we'd had, just to jog people's memories when they find this, when they look back and find this card. And to be honest, I wish I had printed out the contact details because it would have saved a lot of time and effort. But I like the idea of, writing something on the back of a previous conversation we've had to help people remember me when they find this card. Again, wasn't particularly impressed with it. It was just a freebie offer from one of these online card making sites, so I took advantage of that. The next one was probably my favourite. By now, Rusty Rocket is starting to get branded to be like have a retro feel, and the cassette tape featured quite heavily and still does sometimes on the website. And again, it was another freebie from an online site, and they had these cassette tapes cards offer available, so I took full advantage of it, and they print them out in different cassette styles, and it was perfect. I've handed a lot of these out, and I've deliberately kept these back because I don't think you can get these printed anymore, which is a real shame. And again, the thing I like about it is it's got like a track listing that looks exactly like the inlay card of an actual cassette tape that I used to buy. And again, I use this space to write down how we met or a conversation we've had, along with my contact details. Unfortunately, no more printed contact details like before. I think that was that cost extra, and so I was trying to achieve things at minimum cost. And like I said, I've been running with these for a couple of years at least, and they've gone down really, really well, despite having the Flickr branding there. Again, nobody minded. They just were just happy to receive a card from me when they wanted my details. So yeah, I'm very, very, very attached to these particular one. But then the 3D printer came along recently, and so I've been toying with fun and creative ideas, and I found a nice template on Thingiverse that I've modified to have the web address across, and was intending to hand these out at a competition that I had was starting to build an entry for, and but obviously the event never took place due to all the things that are going on at the minute. But yeah, I like this card. And if you pop these out, this is what you get. So it actually makes a rocket. You can see here that I had to put blobs of glue on to hold it all into place. So it wasn't the most convenient model to make, but it was still a good idea that I wanted to evolve and develop further. So out popped this one, this nice little template that I found. And again, the web address is along the bottom, and this sits quite, you know, small in the hand compared with the other, and it's the same width as an ordinary business card, which is what I love actually. So yeah, I've had a few of these made up on my printer and intend to hand them out. But where we go from here, well, I don't actually know. But one area that I'd love to explore is using one of these. So these are little pocket thermal printers, and they're brilliant. So they just print out a little receipt with any design on, really. So I want to make up some nice little pre-made image heavy templates, and then somehow type in that little message, or, you know, remind them what conversation I had when people came to my table to look at what I've made or currently showcasing, and then print it out. It's not in card form. It is a paper receipt, but I think that'll be a nice fun way once all these have run out to then maybe make the jump to a little pocket receipt printer, and then print out some bespoke business cards that are personal and relevant to the person that I'm giving them to. So I guess that's for another video later on. But yeah, I wanted to show you the evolution of my cards from a bit of tatty paper to venturing into card-like format, to my favorite and most successful one, the cassette player, to then experimenting with a practical use for the card, and then evolving into a smaller, more practical model, before then hitchhiking a ride to the future where we'll be using a thermal printer to print off a little receipt with images and my contact details on. But yeah, I hope you find this inspiring. It's certainly been interesting to dig them out again, and yeah, thanks for watching. Bye bye.